What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. I'm your host for today, Simon Villanoz, aka Coach V, and we have another Mile High Prep, aka Prep Super League content / recap for you today. On this episode, Mile High Prep played their last game of their inaugural season versus that team from Atlanta, Georgia, and some other surprises on that squad, including some players from actually some other teams here who I want to shout out before we get into it. Just real quick here, but one of the players on that Atlanta squad was number 0, Cornell. I think it's pronounced Farrakhan Jr. He is a 4-star here. He recently actually just narrowed down his decisions, or his college commitment, to his top 3, his final 3 to Alabama, Texas A&M, and Nebraska. Was also recently offered by CU and Arizona State, I want to say, but it probably is too late for them. But he's an excellent athlete, played a lot of receiver out there for them, and played a little bit of DB, I want to say. So there you go there. And then there was also number 100 for this Atlanta squad. That's Isaiah Broaden here from Cy Ridge High School. I believe that's from around the Houston area, which, by the way, the other guy here that I talked about, Cornell, he is listed going to North Shore Galena, which is obviously in Houston for those of you who do not know about Texas football like that. And Broaden actually just got his first offer to Texas Tech, I want to say, just a couple months ago. So there you go. There are a couple D1 guys that I wanted to shout out who played pretty well and were pretty memorable in this one here. And I don't have the rosters for the other team per usual, unfortunately, but I will be shouting out numbers. So if this is you, please feel free to reach out and whatnot. Obviously, we'd love to connect with you and all that great stuff. But this would be the last game for MHP this season. They would host it over at Marv K Stadium at the Colorado School of Mines on May 26th. 2024, and it is May 27th, 2024, the next day when I'm recording this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, now let's get into this game. In the first quarter, Mile High Prep would go ahead and start with the ball, starting on the 25 here. They go ahead and call a run left to the running back from Arvada West, Adrian Samala, who gets a solid gain, but unfortunately a holding penalty would bring that back, making it 1st and 20. They give it back to Samala, though. He gets about 7 yards on that. Following that play on 2nd down here, Alex Birch, the quarterback from Horizon, playing for Mile High Prep here, gets the snap out of shotgun and throws the dig to the Castle View tight end. That's Jackson Blanchard, who brings it in for a big-time gain, making it 1st and 10 on the 45. They then rotate running backs and hand it off to the Grandview back, Chris Blanks here, who goes for about 4 yards. They then give it to him again, but he gets popped by number 10 of Georgia, who comes in from the secondary and stops him for no gain. But it does appear that there will be a face mask thrown on, I don't think number 10, it was kind of gang tackled by a couple other guys, so it was thrown on somebody else, and so now it's actually 1st and 10 across the midfield on the 35. And so here we go, 1st down. Birch gets a snap, rolls out left, and throws the out route to Raymond Sarno out of Cherry Creek High School, receiver, who goes ahead and gets that 1st down, another one, making it 1st and 10 on the 23. 1st down, it's overthrown. 2nd down, it's a handoff to number 5, Tyler Anderson, the back from Legacy here. He gets a gain of a couple yards, maybe, I want to say 8 or so yards on this one, so it's now 3rd and 2. They hand it off to Anderson again up the middle, who barely is just able to move forward and get that 1st down, met by a couple Atlanta defenders here, but ultimately still gets that first. Now it's 1st and 10 on the 14 in the red zone here. So here we go in the red zone. They go ahead and throw the swing route. This is to number 23 here, out of the backfield, Jaden Green, the running back from Arvada West. It looks like he kind of just gets tripped up by the turf monster here and just falls down. So that goes for a slight loss. 2nd and 11. They give it to Green again on the carry, but this time he just gets popped by number 8 of this Atlanta squad, laying him out with a pretty big hit here, but he holds on here. It's still 3rd and 11 as that went for no gain. And on 3rd down here, Birch gets a snap. He feels the pressure from the right side, and it's double zeros chasing him down, and he eventually actually sacks him for a pretty big loss here, making it 4th and 17. Great defense by this Atlanta squad. And so here we go. They're going to go ahead and kick this field goal. I want to say this is about a 32-ish yard field goal. And so they go ahead, line it up. They snap it, but the hold is fumbled. And then there's a little bit of a crazy situation where the holder tries to throw it to... I think it had to have been one of the blockers who just had the idea to go out for a pass here. And, I mean, he gets hit pretty hard here on the catch, and so he's not able to bring it in. That's incomplete. A turnover on downs. I don't think they were going to get that anyways. And so here we go. Atlanta will get the ball for the first time about on the 18-yard line, I want to say. So, first down with about 4:55 left and counting. The quarterback, number 2, gets the snap, and he is immediately sacked here by Marcus Adams and DJ Crow, who both get in there to make it 2nd and 19. Just looks like a miscommunication at the line here. Following that, number 2 for Atlanta gets a snap again in at quarterback, and he tries to throw it, but it's batted down, it looks like, by DJ Crow. So now it's 3rd down here. And on 3rd and 19 with no choice here, number 2 gets snap, launches one deep to number 19, who is open here. He beats the corner pretty bad, it looks like. But fortunately for them on this windy day, the ball kind of gets taken away and it's overthrown in general. And so it's incomplete. And so it's 4th down and they will punt it. And the punt does go out of bounds. And so it's not a far punt. They're kind of kicking against the wind here. And so Mile High Prep takes over on the 35, still past the midfield. So there you go. They're 1st and 10. Here's what happens. They run a counter right to Adrian Samala for about 4 yards. They then go ahead and call a draw to Samala, who gets loose and gets a couple really good yards, at least 10, before getting absolutely laid out by number 8 of Atlanta. Just a good, clean, tough hit right there, which was a super loud pop, but the damage was already done by that point. Samala getting that first down here. And on that play, by the way, number 54 of Mile High Prep, that would be actually Adrian Samala's brother, Jaden Samala, who got a pretty big pancake to open up that play here. And so that would actually place them on the 21 as the quarter ends. And so going into the second quarter, Mile High Prep with the ball. It's still at 0-0, 1st and 10 on the 21. They call another draw to Adrian Samala, who gets another first down in a row. And at this point, they are in the red zone, about 1st and 9 on the goal line here. And they hand it off left to Chris Blanks out of Grandview, who gets met by number 50 of the Atlanta squad right at the line, and then gang tackled by the rest. Was great feeling there by that Atlanta team. And then that sets up a second down, still from the 9-yard line. Birch gets a snap, throws a slant here to Pine Creek's Elijah Roy, but just kind of looks like he wasn't ready here. And so it's dropped and actually almost picked off by this Atlanta team, but they weren't quite able to bring it in. So that brings up a 3rd down opportunity here. And on 3rd down, Birch gets a snap. He's scanning. He is looking for someone to throw to before stepping up and then just scrambling right here before getting pushed out of bounds. Right basically on the goal line. It's 4th and 1 at this point here. I think, by the way, this is a side note, I think there's definitely an opportunity for him to go ahead and dive for this one, but he would have been absolutely crunched by some Atlanta defenders who were there, so that's kind of a good thing. But 4th and 1, Mile High Prep, they're going for it. They go ahead and hand it off right up the middle to Tyler Anderson, but he is stuffed at the line, met by multiple defenders. I believe actually that Atlanta defensive line got in there, and then they were met by a couple linebackers who stopped him short. And so that's a turnover on downs. There's 11:26 left, but Atlanta is kind of in a tough spot. They're on the 1 yard line here, really backed up there. And so they call a screen to number 0 here. That would be Cornell Farrakhan, I want to say. And it is read really well by Tremaine Shaw of Mile High Prep, and he tackles him, and it looks like he got him for a safety, but they mark him down at the 1 here. So now it's 2nd and 11, and on 2nd down, they just hand it off here to their running back, but he just gets smacked by Keegan Perea in the backfield for a safety, and for the first points of this game here, as Mile High Prep goes up 2-0 with about 9:57 left, taking advantage of that tough field position for them and playing tough at the line. And so here we go. I believe they take over on the 35. 1st down, it's an incompletion. 2nd down, it's a quick screen to Wilson Patachik, I want to say. Wilson, if you're listening to this, excuse me. I feel like I might be mispronouncing that, but it's Wilson Patachik out of Valor Christian, who makes a couple nice moves, by the way, getting some good yards after the catch, but unfortunately a holding call on the offense will push them back to about a 2nd and 15 situation. On 2nd down, they hand it off left to Jaden Green, who gets stopped for a loss, but an offsides penalty on the defense will make it 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, still here, Birch gets snapped, throws the comeback route here to Jace Beal, the wide receiver out of Valor Christian, but it goes out of bounds, setting up 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Birch tries to throw the corner here to Blanchard here, and he's kind of wide open, but he stops running, unfortunately. And so a little bit of, or maybe it was just a little bit of a miscommunication. Either way, it's incomplete, so now it's 4th and 10. And so 4th down here for Mile High Prep, they're going to punt it going 3 and out, unfortunately. But the snap is just not good at all. It is really high, and so there's a scramble for it. But unfortunately, Mile High Prep is not only not able to recover this, but number 83 for Georgia, I believe one of their linemen picks it up and runs it back to the house to make it 2-6 here. Kind of a crazy play for Atlanta, but they go ahead and take advantage of that to take their first lead of the game. On the PAT, it looks like they're going for 2 here, but there is an illegal sub on offense, so now they are going to attempt this 2-point conversion from the 10-yard line instead. And so here we go. PAT after that fumble recovery for a touchdown. Number 2, their quarterback throws it to number 0 on the slant. That's Cornell Farrakhan here, who goes ahead and puts them up 8-2 with 4:41 left, getting that 2-point conversion as this Atlanta squad takes the lead here. And so here we go. Mile High Prep trying to get back into it. Alex Burchin at quarterback throws the quick hitch to Sean Stewart here, the wide receiver out of Valor Christian, just to get them going here. And he gets them a 1st down. A 1st and 10 here, putting them on the 30-yard line. Following that, they throw a swing route here to the other Valor receiver, Wilson Patachek, to make it 1st and 10 on the 43. They then hand it off left to Samala, who gets about 4 yards. They then sub him out and put in Chris Blanks, and hand it off left again, who gets another 4 yards, making it 3rd and 2. And at this point, I believe Atlanta calls a timeout, the first of the half, at the 2-minute, 2-second mark here, maybe looking to get the ball back and conserve some of this time. And so, out of the timeout, they go ahead and hand it off to Blanks, who gets the 1st down, making it 1st and 10 on the 44. Then I think at this point, Mile High Prep, I believe, calls a timeout at the 2-minute mark here after getting across midfield. And so out of the timeout, here we go, Birch in at quarterback in shotgun. He gets a snap and he fakes it, a really good RPO, I believe, and kind of just throws it up the seam here to the tight end, Jackson Blanchard, who is in 101. He brings in the catch. He throws the DB into the ground and then goes 44 yards to the house to make it 9-8 here. Mile High Prep retaking the lead. Or, sorry, I should say that he ties it up at 8-8, and then the PAT gives Mile High Prep the lead at 9-8. An absolutely sensational play here. The fake got a lot of us, I'm not going to lie here. We thought it was another handoff, but Birch sold it really well, and then threw a great ball here to Blanchard, who goes ahead and he wins that 1-on-1 matchup, and then he wins again and gets it in, going to the house there to go ahead and put them up, or put them in a position to go up. But there is about a minute 52 left for Atlanta, and so they still have plenty of time here. And so here we go, 1st and 10 for them. Their quarterback gets a snap and then throws it deep here, taking a shot, but it's just not a great ball, and it is picked off by Jackson Flores. That is the DB from Grandview, who honestly had excellent coverage right here and just makes them pay. And so here we go. It is 1st and 10 for Mile High Prep with a minute 44 left on the 40 right before midfield, looking to get on the board once more. And so here we go. They call a screen left, but it goes nowhere. Tackled by number 15 of Atlanta. Great tackle there and great read, honestly. Couldn't see who got the screen, but like I said, it just didn't go anywhere. On 2nd and 10, Birch, he gets a snap and is under pressure, rolls right, and checks it down to a receiver, but it is unfortunately dropped. That brings up 3rd and 10 here. On 3rd and 10, Birch throws the out route to Raymond Sarno, who goes ahead against that 1st down, making it 1st and 10 just across midfield on the 48-yard line. At this point, there's about under a minute left and counting, as Sarno actually cuts this route in instead of going out of bounds, so the clock is just rolling. But on 1st down, Birch throws it and it's a drop, so that stops the clock. That makes it 2nd and 10 there with about 43 seconds left. On 2nd down here, Birch gets a snap. He's running around, but the pressure's getting there, and so he throws it away to conserve time and field position. So now it's 3rd and 10 with about 36 seconds left. They then call a run left to Jaden Green, and I believe he's pushed forward on this run right at the end by Peyton Burkar, and so that's enough to actually get them a 1st down here. There's a flag thrown on the defense, but obviously that's declined. And so here you go, 1st and 10 on the 34 with 34 seconds left. Birch gets a snap, avoids the pressure, checks it down to Adrian Samala, who gets a nice gain to make it 1st and 10 once more on the 13-yard line. At this point, Mile High Prep calls a timeout at the 16-second mark. And then out of the timeout on 1st down, Birch throws a slant to number 14, the Fairview receiver, Luke Strickland. But it is broken up by number 0, that is Farrakhan there, who breaks that one up. And so that sets up 2nd down with about 12 seconds left. And Birch gets a snap, runs left, pumps, gets a defender in the air, and then dives for the pylon. And the refs call him in to make it about 15-8 with 4 seconds left here. PET's good to make it 16-8 going into half, as Mile High Prep takes advantage of that turnover. Now, I will say, and Alex Birch actually also said this as well, but it looked like he was short of the pylon there by at least a foot or so. Me and the guys were actually on that side of the field, and so got to see it up close, and the ref called it a touchdown, but I don't think he got in. Still, though, a great effort by Alex Birch here. This defensive line for Atlanta was actually kind of heating up here at the end, and we're applying a lot of pressure, but just a very composed Alex Birch led a great drive here that ended with a score, and I think they would have gotten points anyways, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown. So there you go there. I mean, he would have been down like on the 1, maybe inside the 1 even. But either way, it's 16-8. Actually, just a one-score game, an 8-point game here going into the second half, and Atlanta actually starts with the ball too. And so here we go. They start with it on the 25, and they hand it off to number 9, who runs it up the middle and almost breaks free here, but is just barely tackled right at the end by Caden Absher, the linebacker out of Douglas County, who gets a pretty clutch stop because I think he would have break loose for a touchdown. So there you go there. So now it's 1st and 10 on the 49 after a 24-yard run. They go ahead and then call a read option right to number 2, their quarterback, but he gets crunched by T.I. At the end here, but not before getting a nice gain of about 8 yards. And so that brings up 2nd and 2. And on 2nd down, number 2 rolls left and finds number 1 of Atlanta on the out route, who makes a nice move and gets the first down, making it 1st and 10 on the 30, way across midfield at this point here, as Atlanta is moving. On this next play here, 1st down here on the 30, number 2 gets a snap, scrambles left, and gets a nice gain for about 5 yards. But then following that, there's a really high snap here that number 2 corrals, but by the time he corrals it, number 22 of Mile High Prep, Caden Absher of Douglas County, and number 10, that is Ashton Shepherdson of Cherry Creek, go ahead and hit him and sack him, making it a 3rd and 12 situation. Just a very unfortunate mistake on that high snap. It wasn't even crazily high, it was just slightly too high, but he had to go ahead and corral that one. And so unfortunately brings up a 3rd and 12 situation, and on 3rd down, number 2 gets the snap here and throws it deep, but it is broken up by the legend DB Peyton Auckland to make it 4th down, who was step for step with the receiver there. And then on 4th down and 12, Atlanta going for it here, obviously. They go ahead and call a draw to the running back number 9, who slips a couple tackles and gets the 1st down. An unexpected play call here, but also just a great one there, obviously, because it worked. So there you go. This drive extends for Atlanta. They're now on the 16, 1st and 10. They call a midline option, which is kept by the quarterback, but he is stuffed by T.I., the defensive tackle out of Cherry Creek, by the way, to make it 2nd and 10. But then on 2nd down, number 2 gets a snap, throws it, and this route is jumped by number 43 of Valor Christian High School. That's Moses Freeman, who goes ahead and gets the interception and takes it to the house to make it 22-8 on a, let me do the math here real quick, 84-yard pick 6 here, putting up Mile High Prep 22-8. PAT's good. That actually makes it 23-8 at this point. And that play absolutely kills a very promising drive for Atlanta. This was just a great play by Moses Freeman to see the route combo here and jump this one and go ahead and finish it off with a touchdown. And so it is 23-8. Atlanta's not out of it. They're only down by 2 scores, and there's 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, so a lot of time as they start on the 25. And so here we go, as they have to restart again here. They go ahead and hand it off to number 9. He gets about maybe a yard, tackled by Ashton Shepherdson for no gain. Following that, they give it back to number 9, who was tripped up by Ryder Villarreal, but not before getting that 1st down. They then call a sweep left here to that running back, who gets about 3. Following that play on 2nd and 7, number 2 at quarterback, he looks to pass, but then decides to scramble. He's eventually tackled by Keegan Perea, but not before making it 3rd and 3 there. They then hand it back off to the running back number 9, but this time he is stopped for no gain here. Right of Villarreal here, the linebacker out of Fairview, gets a big time stop there. And so that brings up 4th and 3, and obviously they go ahead and try to throw it here. Number 2 throws the out route, but Caden Absher makes the diving deflection, and so that causes a turnover on downs, ending another very promising drive for Atlanta. And so MHP, they take over with about 3:20 left, and they're pretty set on just kind of running out the clock here. They're on the 48, by the way, and they hand it off to Chris Blanks to get them started. He gets them a 1st down. on the 40. They then give it to Tyler Anderson, I believe 2 or 3 times in a row. The first time he goes left, gets a couple yards, gets 4 yards specifically. Following that, he goes left again, gets another 4 yards, and then they hand it off to him right, and he gets the first down there. And then it gets a little chippy here. Some unsportsmanlike conduct's called on both sides. It's offsetting, though, and so that brings us to the fourth quarter as the third ends. 1st and 10 here. New quarterback in for Mile High Prep as they are looking to get everyone in here, but it is the quarterback. He's not listed on the roster. I had to ask about him a couple weeks ago in the first game, but he's wearing number 80, and it's Dawson Olk. He's going to be an incoming senior over at Valor Christian, so he goes ahead and gets in there as he's running the show here. 1st and 10, though, his throws incomplete. 2nd down, he throws it, and it just goes out of bounds. Then on 3rd and 10, he bobbles the snap, and so he gets hit. It doesn't go anywhere. And so now it's 4th down. They will go ahead and kick it from the 37 here. The first attempt, they kick it. The kick is real bad. I think maybe someone like deflected it or something like that. And sure enough, someone did deflect it, but they also ran into the kicker, and so that's a penalty thrown there. And so they will kick again from the 32, and it is Pancrats here, the kicker from Valor Christian High School, Blake Pancrats here, who goes ahead and bangs it through to put them up 26-8 here as they take a pretty dominating lead at this point. This one looking to be just about over, but, still a little bit of time left here. 11:05 left, but they have to score here soon for them to have a pretty real chance. And so here's what happens. The quarterback for Atlanta keeps the power option, goes right, gets about 7 yards. It's 2nd down here. They go ahead and then run it right. It's a handoff here, and there's a late hit out of bounds, so now it's 1st and 10 on the 39. And then hand it off to number 1. He gets about 5 yards there. But unfortunately, there's another unsportsmanlike conduct. This time, it's just thrown on the Atlanta team. So now it's 2nd and 20. On 2nd and 20, though, the quarterback gets a snap, and he is immediately pressured and sacked by T.I. and Dominic Petrocco, the defensive lineman from Brighton, by the way, both in on that one to make it 3rd and 20 plus on this one. And so on 3rd and really long here, the quarterback drops back and he just throws it up to number 0 Farrakhan here, who comes down with it on like a 30-yard gain here to make it 1st and 10 on the 27. He's a 4-star for a reason, projected to go to Alabama, so nothing crazy there. Nothing that he couldn't do there, honestly, but just a great throw, and he just comes down with it as he just gets behind the defense. And so 1st down here, they call a draw to number 9, the running back, but he is stuffed by T.I. for only a gain of 1. Following that, the quarterback then gets sacked by Marcus Adams, the defensive end out of Cherokee Trail, who makes it 3rd and 11. Timeouts called by Atlanta here. 3rd and 12 here. And they go ahead, snap it, but once more the pressure gets there. Marcus Adams getting there and sacks him, but there is a face mask call, unfortunately. So unfortunately, that goes from it being a sack and a potential fourth and long situation to a 1st and 10 on the 14. They then hand it off to number 9. He's stopped for a loss by Caden Absher, making it 2nd and 12. They then handed off to him again on a draw. He gets about 2 yards, this time tackled, popped by Fairview's linebacker Brock Colstead. MHP calls a timeout, I want to say right here at 3:54. And then on 3rd down, after the timeout, Absher goes ahead off the edge, gets a strip sack here, and it is recovered by Keegan Perea, and that basically seals this one. Atlanta would eventually actually get the ball back here, and I believe Cornell Farrakhan would get another touchdown, but it would be not enough here. Not enough time, actually, really, here for them to come back and win it, as Mile High Prep wins a really tough one here, 26-14. This was a much closer game than the score scoreboard would say here, as this was a tough one. This was a very good Atlanta team who was really tough up front. You know, they had some big boys in those trenches, and they didn't have a lot of them. Most of them played both O-line and D-line, which probably explains some of the O-line struggles at the end there. But defensive line-wise, they were applying a lot of pressure to Alex Birch and Dawson Yolk, who, you know, responded to it, to their credit, which you absolutely got to love there. And, you know, they had some guys. Their DBs and linebackers were getting involved and hitting and tackling downhill. There are a lot of big hits here, just tough hits by both sides, but especially on that Atlanta squad here, who were really making this Mile High Prep team work for everything. And, you know, granted, you can take away that touchdown that probably shouldn't have happened at the end of the half by Alex Birch there. You could still take it away, but Mile High Prep still would have won 18-14, which I think would have been a pretty realistic representation of how that game went score-wise. So there you go there. But Mile High Prep undefeated in their first season, playing a really tough squad at home here. A couple 4-star guys there. So there you go. But they end the season with a dub here at Marv K Stadium. Now, after the game, we were able to catch up with a couple players, including number 19 for Mile High Prep. That is Jackson Blanchard, the class of 2025 tight end out of Castleview. And so here we go. This is Gideon talking to Jackson Blanchard.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Today I'm here with the one and only Jackson Blanchard, tight end from Castleview. How you doing today?
Feeling great, great win today.
Hell yeah. And you've been showing out all year. You got the first touchdown of the season and one of the last in today's matchup. What was your favorite moment from the course of this year?
My favorite moment was honestly coming out and winning games. We just wanted to put Colorado on the map, and the people that I play with, I would have never expected to play with most of them, and to be able to be a team and be the only team in Colorado that's ever doing this feels great, man.
Good. And when we're looking at this team dynamic, you're going to be playing against some of these guys like Keegan from Douglas County. This roster is full of Valor guys in Arvada West. Do you think this is going to add an extra dynamic to some of those rivalries with other teams around the state?
I think so, because, friendly competition is a big thing, especially against Douglas County. I grew up playing with all those guys, so the competition and the rivalry is just such a big thing. And, all the Valor kids live by me, so those rivalries will definitely grow just because, we're closer, and, you want to beat your friends. You want to be the best out of all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at this, it's obvious the chemistry that this team has built over the past few months. But what impact do you think that Mile High Prep is going to have on Colorado football?
I think it's going to have a huge impact. You come out here and you see, last week we had a 4-star come out here with, over 30 offers, and we shut them down. So I really think it should put Colorado on the map. Out here we had a couple 4-stars. To be able to play against those kids and show what Colorado can really do, I think it'll put Colorado on the map a lot.
Very good. And to wrap it all up, what was your absolute, if you had to pick one play, one snap, favorite memory of the season?
Favorite memory? I want to say the first touchdown in history. We run that play in practice, and it finally happened. And to celebrate, that's when I feel like we became a team. I celebrated with Kannon, who goes to Valor. I've never met him before, and it just came together, and that's when I really knew we're going to be something special.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Jackson. Best of luck this season.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Gideon and Jackson Blanchard, for that one. The next interview we got would be with Keegan Perea, the defensive end, class of 2025, out of Cherry Creek High School.
What is up today? I am here with Keegan Perea from Cherry Creek High School. Keegan, how you feeling after today?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. We had a pretty good overall defensive performance, so always feel good after those.
Yeah, insane plays after insane plays today.
Yeah.
You get that, you force that safety over in the opposite end zone. Mm-hmm. You managed to, I believe it was, get that fumble right over here.
Yeah.
Of the two, which was your favorite moment of today?
Definitely the safety. I mean, those are the moments you dream of. It's 1 yard line, your let's go mode, and I just pushed my dude back, got off the block, saw the running back, and I was in attack mode. So it was all a blur for me, but yeah, those are the plays you dream of as a D lineman. So Yes, sir.
Hey, that sounds like a hell of a time. And,
Yeah.
And when we're looking at the season as a whole, you guys have had big moment after big moment, game after game.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe this first season of Mile High Prep play?
It was definitely a fun experience. You know, everything. I got you, Coach. Yeah, I mean, it was just a great bonding experience with all these dudes, getting to know kids from all around the state. You know, realizing that a kid from Fairview High School all the way across Denver, you know, wherever, is not that much different than you are, and that's the real awesome part, that you get to know the kids you're going up against a little bit more. So yeah.
And I mean, a good portion of that offensive line are either guys that you already know or that you've played against,
Yes,
like Kannon or Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're looking at it, how would you describe the dynamic that's going to have on this upcoming season and schedule?
Oh, it's tremendous. I mean, that bond between the offense and defensive line is huge, especially at Creek where we are, and that's what takes us so far, is that interior lineman bond, you know, because there's times where it gets chippy, and during practice, you know, you're going up against same dudes for weeks and weeks and weeks and years, honestly, and yeah, you get tired of them. But you know, if you're deep down, that's your boy, and you guys bond together, then that'll take you a long way as a team when those linemen are like that. So
hey, I got you there.
yes, sir.
Hey, we got about 9
And
minutes. We got to get off this
closing
field
it out,
Mm-hmm.
well, two last questions. What was your favorite moment from the course of the season? Like, if you had to narrow it down to one snap.
One snap. I'd probably say that's safety, just because, like I said, those are the moments you dream of as a defensive player, and just being able to dominate a tackle to the point where he's falling back on his heels, and you get to tackle a running back and score points as a defender, dude. That's where it's at right there.
Hell yeah. And to close it out, what impacts do you think this is going to have on Colorado high school ball?
I think it'll be pretty big. You know, most other states have spring football with their high schools, and obviously we don't. So this is a huge advantage for us that we haven't had before, where it's been a deficit in the past. For us to come out here and get these reps and get better at what we do during the spring when other states are. So yeah, I think it's definitely a positive in a lot of ways, and we'll see this season. You know, just how well it impacts us, for sure.
Very good. Thank you very much, Keegan.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gideon and Keegan Perea, for that one. And we got one last interview here. Usually we do two, but we wanted to get one more with this one, and it's with Valor Christian's offensive tackle, class of 2026, I believe. That would be Kannon Smith.
Hello. Today we are here with Kannon Smith from Valor Christian. Excellent season all around, Kannon. Every game you've been pretty standout on the offensive line.
Yes, sir.
When we're looking at the impacts that Mile High Prep has on high schools and high schoolers and high school ball, how do you feel about the skills that you've learned over the course of these past couple months?
I mean, this league, getting out here and playing teams from other states, it's just a different speed that you don't see in Colorado usually from an O-line perspective. They had an outside backer today, one of the fastest dudes I've ever played against, and just that kind of look preparing us for like next level and when we travel out of state for our high school teams. And I feel like that's just teaching us we got to get there, keep moving our feet, and that's about it.
It makes sense. And when we're looking at, because you go to Valor and you're consistently playing a bunch of the top talent in Colorado, and you talk about that speed change, but how would you describe the effects that playing with some of these guys from other top schools in the state has had on both your mentality but also your play style?
I feel like playing with these guys, I mean, we're all the best in the state. It lets us be aggressive, and we can get after it at the line and know we can dominate, and we can bring that to Valor. And we got all our returning linemen next year, and that kind of mentality I'm going to bring to the team and lead the team, and we're going to get after it.
Very good. And when we're looking at the class of 26 in particular, we have a lot of really talented linemen.
Yes, sir.
Yourself, T.I., Mason Bandhauer, Deacon Schmidt. And when you're looking at that group, how would you describe the effects that you think your recruiting class in line is going to have on Colorado?
I think our recruiting class, I mean, we're one of the first in Colorado. We're getting early looks. I mean, I know Mason committed to Nebraska a while back, and just getting coaches out to Colorado more. I mean, we've had coaches rolling in and out of Creek, I know, with talking to Coach Betty, and they've been coming to Valor. And I think that just excels our recruiting process that I think has been slept on for years in Colorado. And it also just generations like the 27s, like Reese Russell, who goes to Valor. I mean, he's helping us, we're helping him. Just we're all getting looks, and I think we all deserve it.
Very good. And to close it out, what is your main takeaway from this season of MHP football?
I'd say that football's supposed to be fun. Getting out here with these guys, I mean, we travel together, create a brotherhood, and I feel like just playing football to win is something like that's kind of lost in the high school season. And football's supposed to be fun, and you're supposed to get after it. So just playing as brothers, and we were able to grow really close in 5 games. So that only speaks to how close we can get for a high school season. And it's going to be fun playing against these guys. It's going to be good competition, and it's just going to be more fun.
Very, very good. Thank you very much, Kannon. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gideon and Kannon there. Now, last but not least, we do want to recognize some players who we felt like played really, really well. Gideon will want to recognize Atlanta's quarterback, that's number 2, I believe, said he made some great plays both on the ground and in the air to move the chains in tough situations and was the driving force of the Atlanta offense. For Mile High Prep, he's going to go with their quarterback, Alex Birch. He said despite the variable wind, Birch managed to come through again and again, making the right read more often than not, which I have to agree with. I felt like he did really well against the pressure. Mason, he would say that he would give props to number 91 on Atlanta's defensive line, who was super powerful and skilled rusher with all the intangibles, he said. He also liked number 4, the quarterback for Atlanta. He said he had amazing footwork and crazy athleticism, while also showing a high understanding of football and making plays whenever the ball went his way. He also wants to shout out number 64 for Mile High Prep. That's our guy, T.I. He said he had an outstanding game, just being extremely disruptive and showing why he's a 3-star. And then last but not least here, number 74 for Mile High Prep. That is Cherry Creek offensive tackle, class of 26, by the way, Oliver Miller. He said he showed extremely impressive skills and picked up blitzes like crazy. Gino said he's going to go with number 8, the safety on Atlanta. He said he made some big plays in the run game and also really nice hits over the middle on a couple pass plays. His ability to get from the secondary and accelerate to the line of scrimmage really stood out to him. He also said on Mile High Prep he wanted to shout out Peyton Burkar, the offensive lineman out of Columbine. He said he really held his own against a tough Atlanta defensive line. He won a lot of reps in that game and allowed the MHP offense to comfortably run the ball up the middle, which effectively helped set up some key scoring drives. So there you go there. Oh, and sorry, Gideon also wanted to shout out number 0 here. That is Cornell Farrakhan of that Atlanta squad, so not Mile High Prep, but the other one. He said he was speedy as it gets and made some really good reads on defense. He did a very good job for them. Cody will also go ahead and choose number 19 of Mile High Prep, the tight end out of Castleview, Jackson Blanchard. He said he showed physical presence for the Mile High Prep offense to match the Atlanta defense over there. He also wanted to shout out number 54 for Mile High Prep, Jaden Samala out of Arvada West. He said he had some nice plays in the trenches and battled the Atlanta D-line to keep the offense moving as well. And then finally, Phoenix wanted to shout out number 43 on Mile High Prep, Moises Freeman, and number 33 from Mile High Prep, Wilson Potachek, both from Valor Christian. He said Moses showed incredible poise and discipline on defense, and his patience paid off on the interception and was mainly consistent throughout play. He said about Wilson, he's a smaller receiver in the bunch, but we saw a lot of good things out of him against Atlanta with his speed and elusiveness. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he has a nice way of working upfield once he gets the catch and makes some nice cutbacks and uses good bursts of speed to evade tackles. So there you go there. I'm not going to shout anybody out here. I feel like they shouted out plenty, and I am good with that, but plenty of great players on this Mile High Prep team over there and on that Atlanta team over there. But anyways, that'll wrap up this episode of the Playmakers Corner podcast. Thank you so much for rocking with us here. This would be the last episode or Prep Super League content until next spring. We're really excited to see where this league goes and excited to see who else gets to play for Mile High Prep. You know, we really think that the reps that get in pads is super valuable, especially in this off season, and especially considering Colorado doesn't do spring tackle football like Texas or Georgia, and I think that is definitely a big deal there. And so to give these kids an opportunity to go compete and against some of the best, either in-state or out of state, is absolutely huge and is more than what some of them will face, you know, in their career, right? And, you know, being able to evaluate some of these kids outside of their situation at their school is also big time as well. And so we want to thank Prep Super League, our guy Ryan Wesley over there at Mile High Prep as well, you know, for this opportunity to cover them. And we look forward to covering them next year. But until then, you can find us at Playmakers Corner on all of our social medias, Twitter, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, all that great stuff. Show some love there. And we will catch y'all later.